What if I told you that 3 simple adjustments to your training and race strategy could shave minutes off your 10K personal record, and you could implement all 3 of them starting this week? What if the difference between your current PR and your potential isn't more mileage or harder workouts, but strategic tweaks that most runners completely overlook? You're about to discover the 3 specific adjustments that elite coaches use to help their athletes break through plateaus and set new PRs. And the third one is going to completely change how you approach race day. These aren't generic tips you've heard 1,000 times. These are precise, actionable adjustments backed by science and proven in competition. But before we unlock the 3 keys to your next 10K PR, I need you to do something right now. Smash that subscribe button and hit the like button, because what you're about to learn is information that separates runners who stay stuck from runners who keep getting faster year after year. Drop a comment below and tell me what's your current 10K PR and what's your goal time. I want to know where you are and where you're trying to get to, because these adjustments are going to bridge that gap. Welcome to a journey that's going to give you the exact blueprint for breaking your 10K personal record through 3 strategic adjustments you can start implementing immediately. Prepare to discover why your training might be missing the specific stimulus that unlocks 10K speed, how your pacing strategy on race day could be costing you minutes, and the recovery protocol that elite runners use to absorb hard training and race fresh. This isn't about overhauling your entire life or training 100 miles per week. This is about making smart, targeted changes that produce outsized results. Over the next several minutes, you're going to learn adjustment number 1, which focuses on a specific workout most runners skip, adjustment number 2, which revolutionizes your race execution, and adjustment number 3, which optimizes your taper and recovery for peak performance. Before we dive deep, I need to know where you're watching from. Comment right now with your city or country. I absolutely love connecting with PR-chasing runners from all over the world right here. And if you haven't already subscribed, do it now. And turn on notifications so you never miss content that could be the difference between another disappointing race and the breakthrough you've been working toward. Let's break down these 3 game-changing adjustments. Adjustment number 1 is adding one specific workout to your weekly training that most 10K runners neglect. And it's the workout that builds the exact physiological capacity you need to run faster for 6.2 miles. That workout is the lactate threshold or tempo run. Here's why this matters. The 10K distance is run at approximately your lactate threshold pace, which is the fastest pace you can sustain before lactate starts, accumulating in your blood faster than you can clear it. For most runners, this is roughly your 1-hour race pace, or about 15 to 30 seconds per mile slower than your 10K race pace. When you improve your lactate threshold, you can run faster before lactate accumulates, which means your 10K pace improves. Many runners focus heavily on VO2 max intervals, which are important, but they neglect threshold work, which is actually more specific to 10K performance. VO2 max intervals are run at 3K to 5K pace, which is faster than 10K pace. They develop your top-end aerobic capacity, but threshold runs develop your ability to sustain a hard pace for an extended period, which is exactly what the 10K demands. Here's the specific workout you need to add once per week. After a proper warm-up of 10 to 15 minutes easy running, run 20 to 40 minutes continuously at your lactate threshold pace. This should feel comfortably hard. You're breathing heavily, but it's controlled. You could grunt out a few words, but you can't hold a conversation. Your effort level is about 7 to 8 out of 10. Not all out, but definitely working. For someone targeting a 45-minute 10K, threshold pace would be around 7:45 to 8 per mile. For someone targeting 50 minutes, it's around 8:30 to 8:45 per mile. The exact pace varies based on your fitness, but the effort level is consistent. Comfortably hard for 20 to 40 minutes. Start with 20 minutes if you're new to tempo runs. Each week, add 3 to 5 minutes until you reach 40 minutes. Once you can comfortably run 40 minutes at threshold pace, you know you're ready to race a strong 10K because you've trained your body to sustain that effort level. The physiological adaptations from consistent threshold running are profound. Your muscles get better at clearing lactate. You develop more enzymes that break down lactate and shuttle it out of the muscle. Your capillary density increases, improving oxygen delivery and waste removal. Your muscle fibers become more fatigue resistant. Your mind gets comfortable with sustaining discomfort for extended periods. All of these adaptations translate directly to faster 10K racing. I've seen runners drop 2 to 3 minutes off their 10K time in 8 to 12 weeks simply by adding one weekly threshold run to their training. They were doing intervals and easy runs, but they were missing this critical middle intensity work that's specific to the 10K distance. If you're not currently doing weekly tempo runs, this is adjustment. Number 1, add it, prioritize it, make it non-negotiable. Your 10K PR depends on it. Comment below right now and tell me, are you currently doing threshold runs in your training, or is this a missing piece for you? I want to know because this could be the unlock you've been looking for. Let me give you a concrete example of how to structure a week with this threshold work included. Monday, rest or easy 4 miles. Tuesday, threshold run, 2 miles easy warm-up, 25 to 35 minutes at threshold pace, 1 mile easy cooldown. Wednesday, easy 5 miles. Thursday, VO2 max intervals, something like 5x 1000 meters at 10K pace or slightly faster with 2 to 3 minutes recovery. Friday, rest or easy 4 miles. Saturday, long run, 10 to 12 miles at easy pace. Sunday, rest or easy 5 miles. This structure gives you 1 threshold session, 1 VO2 max session, a long run, easy mileage, and adequate recovery. It's balanced and comprehensive. The threshold run on Tuesday is your 10K specific stimulus. The intervals. On Thursday, develop your top-end speed. The long run builds aerobic base. Everything works together. Over 10 to 12 weeks of this structure, your 10K fitness will skyrocket. Your threshold pace will get faster, which means your race pace potential increases. This is how you systematically build 10K speed. Adjustment number 2 is about race execution, and it's going to challenge what you think you know about pacing a 10K. Most runners make one of 2 pacing mistakes. They either go out too fast, feel great for 2 miles, then blow up and suffer through miles 3 to 6, or they go out too conservatively, feel too comfortable early, and realize at mile 4 that they have way too much left in the tank, but it's too late to make up significant time. Both strategies leave time on the table. The optimal 10K pacing strategy for a personal record is slightly negative splits, or even pacing with a strong finishing kick. Here's what that looks like. You run the first 5K at your goal pace, or maybe 2 to 5 seconds per mile slower than goal pace. You should feel controlled and strong, like you're working but not suffering. At the halfway point, 5K or 3.1 miles, you assess. If you feel good, you maintain pace. If you feel great, you start to slowly increase pace. Miles 4 and 5 should be at goal pace. Mile 6 and the final 0.2 miles, you push harder, running 5 to 10 seconds per mile faster than goal pace, finishing strong. This pacing strategy works because it allows your body to settle into the effort without accumulating early fatigue from going too hard. You're running aerobically and efficiently in the first half, which preserves glycogen and minimizes lactate accumulation. In the second half, you're riding the momentum and pushing when you have information about how your body is responding. Contrast this with the typical mistake of going out 10 to 15 seconds per mile too fast in the first mile because of adrenaline and race excitement. That fast start feels easy initially, but it creates metabolic stress that catches up to you at mile 3 or 4. Suddenly you're struggling, your pace is dropping, and you're in survival mode just trying to finish. You might lose 30 to 60 seconds in the final 5K because you blew up early. Even pacing or slightly negative splits is more sustainable and leads to faster overall times. Here's how you practice this pacing discipline. During your threshold runs, practice running the first half slightly easier than the second half. For a 30-minute threshold run, make the first 15 minutes feel controlled, maybe 5 to 10 seconds per mile slower than the second 15 minutes. This teaches your body and mind what smart pacing feels like. You learn to hold back early even when you feel good, trusting that you'll be glad you did in the second half. Then in races, you execute the same strategy. Go out controlled, hit your splits, stay disciplined. At halfway, assess and potentially pick it up. Finish strong. This is how elites race. They're incredibly disciplined about not going out too fast. They know that patience in the first half pays off in the second half. You need to adopt the same mentality. Your ego wants to prove you're fast in the first mile. Your brain wants the PR, so it tells you to be patient. Listen to your brain, not your ego. Let me share a real example. I coached a runner targeting a sub-45-minute 10K. His PR was 46:30. In his previous races, he'd gone out at 7:10 pace for the first mile, which felt great. But by mile 4, he was running 7:45 pace and struggling. He'd finish around 46:30 to 47 hours, frustrated and exhausted. We changed his race strategy. We planned to run the first 5K at 7:20 to 7:25 pace, which felt almost too easy for him. Then at 5K, if he felt good, he could pick it up to 7:15 to 7:18 pace for miles 4 and 5 and push hard in mile 6. He executed perfectly. First 5K in 22:50, which is 7:21 pace. He felt great. Miles 4 and 5 at 7:15 pace. Final mile and change at 7:05 pace. He finished in 44:48. That's a 102-second PR from pacing discipline alone. His fitness hadn't changed dramatically. His race execution changed. That's the power of adjustment number 2. What are you thinking right now? Have you been guilty of going out too fast in races? Drop a comment and be honest about your pacing strategy. This self-awareness is critical for improvement. Adjustment number 3 is about your taper and peak performance timing, and this is where most runners sabotage themselves without realizing it. The taper is the period of reduced training volume and intensity in the 10 to 14 days before your goal race. The purpose of the taper is to shed accumulated fatigue while maintaining fitness, so you arrive at the start line fresh, sharp, and ready to perform at your peak. Most runners make one of 2 taper mistakes. They either don't taper at all, training hard right up to race day, or they taper too much, resting so completely that they lose sharpness and feel flat on race day. The optimal taper for a 10K is a reduction in training volume by about 40 to 60% while maintaining intensity. Here's what that looks like in practice. 2 weeks before your race, you run your last hard long run and your last full intensity threshold or interval workout. 10 days before the race, you start reducing volume. If you normally run 40 miles per week, you drop to 25 to 30 miles in the final week. If you normally run 50 miles per week, you drop to 30 to 35 miles. But, critically, you maintain some intensity. You don't just jog easy all week. You include a few short, sharp efforts to keep your legs feeling fast. For example, 8 days before the race, you might do 4x 400 meters at 10K pace with full recovery. This isn't a hard workout, it's a sharpness session. You're reminding your body what race pace feels like without accumulating fatigue. 5 days before the race, you might do 3x 1K at 10K pace with long recovery. Again, not a hard workout. You're priming the pump. 3 days before the race, you do an easy run with 4 to 6 strides at race pace. 2 days before, easy run or rest. 1 day before, short easy run or complete rest depending on your preference. This taper structure sheds fatigue while keeping your neuromuscular system sharp. You arrive at race day feeling fresh but not flat. Your legs feel light and springy. Your mind is confident because you've reminded yourself you can hit race pace. The other critical component of the taper is sleep and nutrition. In the final week before your race, prioritize sleep above everything. Aim for 8 to 9 hours per night. This is when your body is doing the deepest recovery and adaptation from all your hard training. Skimp on sleep during taper week and you're leaving performance on the table. Nutrition matters too. You should be eating plenty of carbohydrates to fully replenish glycogen stores. Don't try to lose weight during taper week. Your body needs fuel. Hydration is critical. Drink plenty of water throughout the week. The day before the race, don't overeat or stuff yourself with pasta. Just eat normally with an emphasis on familiar, easy-to-digest carbs. On race morning, eat a light breakfast 2 to 3 hours before the start. Maybe a bagel with peanut butter and a banana. Something you've practiced in training. Nothing new on race day. This taper and fueling strategy ensures you show up optimally prepared. I've seen so many runners sabotage a great training cycle with a poor taper. They're nervous about losing fitness, so they keep hammering workouts in the final week. They show up on race day tired and flat, or they rest too much and show up feeling sluggish and slow. The taper is an art, and getting it right makes a massive difference. A well-tapered runner might PR by 30 to 60 seconds compared to showing up under-recovered. That's huge. If you've been training your butt off for 10 to 12 weeks, don't blow it with a bad final week. Trust the taper, reduce volume, maintain some sharpness, sleep, eat, show up ready to race. Comment below right now and tell me, do you usually taper before races, or do you train hard right up to race day? Your answer might reveal why you're not hitting the PRs your training suggests you should. Now let's bring all 3 adjustments together into a complete picture. Adjustment 1. Add weekly threshold runs to build lactate threshold, which is the specific physiological capacity that determines 10K performance. This makes you faster at sustaining race pace. Adjustment 2. Execute smart pacing in your races. Even splits or slightly negative splits with a strong finish. No more going out too fast and blowing up. Discipline early, speed late. Adjustment 3. Nail your taper. Reduce volume by 40 to 60% in the final week. Maintain sharpness with short race pace efforts. Prioritize sleep and nutrition and show up fresh. When you implement all 3 of these adjustments, you stack the odds massively in your favor. You've built the fitness through threshold work. You've planned the race execution through smart pacing. You've optimized your readiness through proper tapering. Your PR isn't a hope, it's a plan. Let me give you a complete 12-week training block that incorporates all 3 adjustments, building toward a 10K PR attempt. Weeks 1 to 3, base building phase. 3 runs per week, including 1 threshold run starting at 20 minutes, 1 interval session, 1 long run. Total volume 25 to 35 miles per week. Weeks 4 to 8, build phase. 4 to 5 runs per week. Threshold runs progress from 25 to 35 minutes. Intervals get more specific to 10K pace. Long runs extend to 12 to 14 miles. Volume builds to 35 to 45 miles per week. Week 9, recovery week. Drop volume by 30%. Maintain intensity but reduce reps. Week 10 and 11, peak phase. Maintain volume. Threshold runs at 30 to 35 minutes. 1 final hard interval session in week 10. Long run of 10 to 12 miles early in week 11. Week 12, taper. Week, volume drops to 20 to 30 miles. Include 2 short sharpness sessions. Prioritize sleep and nutrition. Race on weekend of week 12. This progression systematically builds your fitness, integrates the key workouts, and tapers you perfectly for race day. Think about this carefully. Are you ready to commit to these 3 adjustments for your next 10K training cycle? Are you willing to add the threshold work, practice disciplined pacing, and trust the taper? Comment below and make your commitment public. Tell me you're implementing these 3 adjustments in your training. Public accountability increases follow-through dramatically. Here's one final thought before we wrap up. Breaking your PR isn't about luck or having a perfect day where everything magically comes together. It's about preparation meeting opportunity. You prepare by training smart with the right workouts at the right intensities. You prepare by practicing pacing discipline in training so it's automatic on race day. You prepare by respecting the taper and showing up fresh. Then on race day, you execute the plan. You hit your splits. You stay mentally tough when it gets hard. You push when you plan to push. The PR is the inevitable result of doing all the small things right over weeks and months. These 3 adjustments give you the framework. The threshold work builds the engine. The pacing strategy maximizes efficiency. The taper ensures you're firing on all cylinders. Put it all together and your next 10K PR isn't a question of if, but when. Here's what I need from you before you go. First, leave a comment telling me which of these 3 adjustments is most eye-opening for you. Is it adding threshold runs, fixing your pacing strategy, nailing the taper? I genuinely want to know what resonated most, because that tells me what content to create next. Second, if this video has given you a clear, actionable plan to finally break your 10K PR, smash that like button so more runners chasing their goals can discover this information. Third, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications because I'm constantly creating content that will make you a faster, smarter, more strategic runner. And finally, I've got another video ready for you that breaks down the perfect 10K race day routine from wake up to warm up to post-race recovery. Click the video on your screen right now and complete your 10K PR preparation. You now have the 3 adjustments that will break your personal record. Threshold runs for fitness, smart pacing for execution, proper taper for freshness. The only question is whether you'll implement them. I believe you will. Now get out there, do the work, execute the plan, and claim that PR. It's waiting for you. I'll see you at the finish line.